Hi again, everyone. I'm going to rush through this because my first awesome video of this was 19 minutes long. So I told you these were going to be micro lessons. So there's a long version and a short version. So anyways, let's just jump to it. This is micro lesson number 1 of my SEL-Care series. It's titled Intentional Mistakes Role Modeling. So when life gives you lemons, of course, make grape juice, right? And then sit back and watch as the world wonders how you did it. So what I mean by that is we're going to work on taking a situation that can be uncomfortable, can lead to stress, frustration, anxiety, and other uncomfortable feelings. And we're going to turn it into a positive situation. We're going to make it a learning experience for our students and their parents and yourself. So just to start out, in education, we all know that everything always goes according to plan. Students listen perfectly, educators know everything, and educators teach perfectly. The delivery is on point and on time, just like me teaching a micro lesson in 19 minutes, and that technology never fails. So for those of you that experience this most of the time, great job. For the rest of us, it's important for us to practice this for ourselves, but even more importantly for our students. So the what? Intentional mistakes role modeling, by my definition, is an SEL practice of demonstrating to your students how to calmly and effectively work through a situation that isn't ideal. So I put air quotes as intentional because, at least for me, mistakes are happening all the time at a more frequent pace. But it is good for us to practice, whether they're intentional or unintentional, how to work through them without having a major experience. This comes from social learning theory, which in layman's terms is basically learning through observation. So your students are going to learn through you how to solve a situation when a situation arises. And like I said, it can be used during intentional or unintentional situations. Why is this important? So in my experience, I've come to realize that a lot of major situations, explosive reactions, major escalations seem to come from when a situation doesn't go the way that that person had planned, whether that's not understanding the directions or not knowing how to answer a certain question correctly, or even just having a situation not go the way that you were hoping for. That's comes from the need to feel like everything should be perfect all the time. Some people are really great at handling that, and some people really struggle, and there's a lot of people in between. So it's important for us to help our students and their parents and everyone else understand that everyone makes mistakes. A lot of situations become not ideal, and that's okay. It's also important to have this embedded into your practice because students really do benefit from concrete examples and instructions. They're very savvy, they can understand what's going on, and they can make good guesses and are usually right as to what the reactions are going to be and all of that. But it's very important for us to understand that we are the role models, and we have an opportunity to help them really understand in a concrete fashion how to solve a situation. Also, practice makes better. So setting up intentional mistakes allows us to practice for the unintentional mistakes. And even during the unintentional mistakes, practice still makes better if we follow the steps that I'm about to teach you. And then last but not least, we're going to make grape juice. We're going to turn a situation that would seem to have negative outcomes into positive learning experiences. And it's doable. Trust me. Okay, so here's how. There's 6 steps that I'm going to show you. Step 1, take a deep breath. Why is that important? Because oxygen to the brain is what allows your brain to be fueled to make good decisions. And it's often forgotten when we're escalating. So that's why it's very explicit for you to take a deep breath first. Step 2 is be explicit. Acknowledge what is happening and how it makes you feel. Help your students understand what's going on and how it's making you feel so that they can understand that it's okay to do the same. That it doesn't have to be a perfect situation all the time, and the answer doesn't always have to be right. Step 3, be concrete. I advise you to describe how you plan to self-regulate so that students understand what you're doing and why you're doing it. Some ways to self-regulate is to take deep breaths. 3 is a recommendation, at least 3. Positive self-talk, which is saying whatever, it can even be funny, whatever you can say to yourself to take negative feelings away, to shift towards positive feelings. And then positive thoughts. Sometimes it's visualizing a great vacation, thinking about your kiddos. I picture my daughter and I think of a funny thing she did that day, and that tends to help me snap out of an uncomfortable feeling. And then you do it. You execute. It doesn't really help to tell your students what you're going to do and what works for you if you don't show them. Step 4, model positivity. Try to stand up straight. Try to keep smiling. Try to talk in a calm voice. Keep your chin up. And model that everything is going to be okay. Step 5, actively work to solve the problem. There could be a plethora of different situations to solve, and it's important for you to actively work through it. But first, to calm yourself down and then work through it. That's the main point of this. I also put a little suggestion, a guideline that if the resources allow, give students an impromptu break time while you attempt to resolve the situation. This isn't a necessity, but it does help to remind yourself it's okay if the students take a break, or if they have a snack time or have a little social time quietly, of course, so that you can concentrate. But it's okay. They're resilient. They're going to be all right. They don't have to be learning the entire time they're with you. And step 6, reflect out loud how everything turned out and then carry on. So here's a quick example, maybe a situation you've never experienced. But let's say you're in the middle of your lesson and the projector freezes. Okay, that'll never happen though, because our technology is just so spot on. Okay, but if it does, step 1. Step 2. All right, class, so it looks like the projector is having some technical difficulties, and it's really frustrating because I had some really cool things to show you during this lesson that would have made the lesson amazing. So I'm frustrated, but it's going to be okay. We might solve it. I might be able to get the projector working. I might not. Step 3, be concrete. So since I'm frustrated though, something that tends to work for me is I like to take 3 deep breaths because I need the fuel in my brain to be able to solve this problem. You can take deep breaths with me, or you can just watch. I'm gonna go in through the nose, out through the mouth. Step 4, model positivity. So friends, even though it is frustrating, I don't have to get so upset that I just decide to not teach this lesson. It's okay. Life is going to be all right. We're going to get through this whether the projector ends up working or not. I'm still going to deliver a great lesson, maybe not as great as if the projector was working just fine. Okay? So don't worry, guys. We're going to figure this out. So step 5. Okay, so for my remote learners, I apologize for the technical difficulties, but instead of having you sit and wait to see what happens, I'm going to go ahead and give you a 3-minute break. I'm going to set the timer. You can go get a snack. You can go take a stretch break, but then I'm asking you to come back in 3 minutes. Okay? All right, timer's going to start. For my in-class students, since I don't have an instructional assistant in this classroom, feel free to socialize quietly. I'm going to depend on you to keep it to a low voice so that I can concentrate in following the steps that Tyler taught me in these situations. Okay. So please, you'll have 3 minutes. I'm really depending on you guys. Be my teammate, please. Okay. All right, great. So Tyler taught me to turn off the projector and then turn it on and see if that works. Okay. All right, projector didn't work. Still not working. That's okay. Not Tyler's fault. So I know the next step is to maybe refresh my computer, but I'm a little worried that it'll kick the kids out of the Google Meet. Oh, wait a second. Tyler taught me that that doesn't actually happen. All right, so I'm gonna turn off my computer. Okay, I'm gonna restart it now. Okay, darn, the projector's still frozen. 3 minutes have gone by. All right, class. Thanks for coming back. Some people are still trickling in. So it turns out the projector is not going to work. That's frustrating, but we tried our best. Thank you so much for being great teammates with me and giving me the opportunity to concentrate and solve this. But you know what? It's okay. We'll be fine. Maybe I'll be able to show you what I was going to show you another time when the projector's working again. But thank you so much again, everybody. All right, we're going to move on with this lesson then. All right, so there's your concrete example. I know it's not going to go exactly like that. Some of you maybe even thought at step 3, when I showed the deep breaths, I might have seemed a little silly, but I don't believe there's anything wrong with helping students get to see their role model truly demonstrate what they do to calm down. And it might be awkward. That's okay. Living in the awkward's fine. There shouldn't be anything awkward about calming yourself down. All right, so I'm going to leave you with this to end this micro lesson. And the point of it is that our students are depending on us to learn how to go through situations. They're not just learning certain material that we need to cover in our curriculums. They're really learning how to become human beings that can function in this world. You're depending on yourself as well. So make sure that whatever self-talk you're doing for yourself or however you're handling situations, that you handle in a way that makes you happy, that allows you to stay calm, because you don't deserve to be so frustrated that you have any negative situations or negative feelings about yourself, because guess what, everyone? We're all in this together. So that is my lesson. I'd appreciate any feedback. You can email me or you can message me, or you can even just find any way to communicate with me. It doesn't really matter. But I appreciate you all. Keep up the good fight. You're doing a great job. We all believe in you and we're all behind you. All right. Take care, everyone. We'll see you next time.